Well, hello, and welcome back to Read Becca. It's time once again to check in on my monthly library treasure hunt project, this time for the month of May. This is a project that I've set for myself to scour the shelves at my library once a month in search of potential hidden gems, underrated reads that you might be curious about. So this month I picked Goddess by Deborah, and at this moment it is currently sitting at 431 ratings, 93 reviews, and a 3.21 average rating. So this book follows Agnes, a writer who has found a meteoric rise to fame very suddenly and is not sure, is still finding her footing in that, because she is not the type for this. But what has grabbed the imaginations of readers with her book is the fact that it's written with no human characters and entirely focused on nature. And so this novel is everywhere, and she is kicking off her authorial touring, hopping on a plane and seeing people reading her book and finding that very weird and awkward, not sure how to deal with it. But this book is not about that. So as she's getting on the plane, she encounters a very famous guy who's sitting next to her, who also happens to be reading her book, and strikes up a conversation with Jack Verity, this filmmaker, recently divorced, very famous and prestigious. But they kind of have a love connection. This book is also not about that. Through their love connection, they both get swept up in their romance really quickly, and in a matter of days, she has been invited to his home in the Hamptons, his family home, where his ex-wife and their children live, for his birthday. So they're having a special event, and she's been welcomed despite that they've just met. And so what this book is about is the fact that she meets his ex-wife, Gia, who is a famous person, celeb turned wellness influencer and guru with her own brand, the Goddess brand. And Gia immediately is a little suspicious in that she is so perfect, and everything about her seems to match the ideal that she presents, although there are some things a little off in that, like she eats potato chips, for instance. That's not in line with her brand, certainly. But otherwise, she does seem to be the genuine article. And even though Agnes has never really tried her products before, she has the opportunity at this place and finds them to be very interesting. But along the way, there are some things that she's curious about or don't seem to quite track. And so this book is her building a connection with Gia inviting her to this incredible wellness summit, very exclusive event on an island in Greece, where Gia is from. And this is going to be an extreme deep dive into wellness on many topics. And yet things become slightly ominous. We get these nods that things are not quite right, as Jack is kind of warning her to maybe have an exit strategy as she prepares to go to this island for the Wellness Summit. So most of this book is the experience of this Wellness Summit, and Agnes coming to understand and question more about her understanding of Gia as a person, the strange things that happen on the island over this time, and just that she's not quite sure what she thinks is happening there, because Agnes starts losing time over the course of this wellness summit, where she can't quite remember exactly what she's done. She's finding herself increasingly willing to participate. She's making great friendships, and she feels like maybe the support of those people is opening her up and making her have these positive effects out of this wellness summit. Seems to be the goal of the summit, so she sort of just doesn't really question it. So I feel this book definitely did deliver on an aspect that I was looking for, of being very rompy. It's got a real popcorn or potato chip quality where it's just one more page. It's really easy to read. And from a prose perspective, I would say the writing is simple and compelling. I also listened to the audio, and audio narration does really fit with the book in terms of style and tone. But for me, I think this was not a success, and unfortunately was not a treasure, because I just found too many things, so many aspects of this book were either hand-waved away when they felt really major and needing more explanation, or just simply not explained at all. So one thing I can mention, I think that's fairly innocuous and doesn't really spoil anything, is at the very beginning. And as a thread running through this, we keep going back to her escaping into nature and having sort of something she recognizes as unusual experience being in nature. But we're not really clear on what that is. And that never gets explained. We never come to understand more of what she was experiencing out there that was super unusual. And so there were many things throughout that story where we get something dropped into the plot that feels really major, and there's just no conclusion or explanation to it whatsoever. And I felt like even in some of the really major wrap-up elements that I'm not going to discuss because they would be major spoilers, it was so unsatisfying the way that they were explained that it just did not work for me. So I think the tone and style definitely did keep me reading though. So I didn't put this down, I didn't DNF it, I did actually finish it, even though along the way I was kind of having all these questions and doubts. So I think that if you're in it for a romp, a very light read, if you want some celebrities behaving badly and a very questionable fitness guru turned potentially cult leader, this might deliver for you. It might be a treasure for you. It was not for me. So that is it for my May treasure hunt. We will try again next month and hopefully find another hidden gem. Thank you so very much for watching.